A lot of people don't talk about this, but prior to Biden's presidency, Obama was the most pro-Israeli president in U.S. history. And it's so important that we discuss this because oftentimes I see people of color, see other people of color in these high positions of power and think that this is a win for us. But in fact, it is indoctrination. Obama, despite the fact he did not have a good relationship with Netanyahu, he provided the most weapon sales and funding to the apartheid state of Israel in U.S. history. The reason that $3 billion of American taxpayer dollars goes to the apartheid state of Israel is because Obama signed this deal. $3 billion of U.S. taxpayer dollars goes annually to Israel because of Obama. He built them the Iron Dome. The Iron Dome is what prevents missiles and rockets from entering Israel's atmosphere. It is so important to recognize that people of color in these high positions of power are participating in our own extermination and genocide. And it's so important that we start to take them off the pedestal. We need to recognize that it is people of color in these high positions of power that are participating in our oppression, in our genocide, in our extermination. This is Biden's press secretary. This is New York City's mayor. This is the U.S.'s Security Council, which vetoed every single ceasefire that was presented at the United Nations. This is another member of the U.S. Security Council that vetoed a ceasefire in Gaza. This is NYPD's first Latino commissioner. This is Columbia University's first Arab president. The greatest fear that lives in the hearts and minds of white supremacists is that if people of color are free, they will want to take revenge. Despite the fact that after colonization ended, apartheid ended, slavery ended, people of color have never taken revenge against white people. Even now, when they have the conversation that, oh, if Palestinians are free, they will kill all the Israelis. This is not true. But still, when white people see people of color moving to America, to Australia, to Canada, to Europe, they see this as a threat to their existence, because if they become outnumbered and they become the minority, then that means that people of color are now the majority, which means that they get to make the rules and they will eventually want to take revenge against them. So what they do instead is that they put people of color in these high positions of power to create an illusion that progress is being made. But what in fact happens is that people of color are now the face of genocide, the face of extermination, the face of oppression, and it confuses us, right? But we are also participating in it because we put these people of color who made it on a pedestal, and we think, oh, this is a win for us. But if you just look at the NYPD and see all the people of color now in the NYPD, it makes it harder to say the NYPD is a racist organization, right? And the way that we are seeing these police beating the shit out of college students across America. These are not just white police officers. These are people of color. These are people of color in these police departments beating up students who are protesting, who are peacefully protesting against a genocide and extermination of Palestinians in Gaza. I think one other thing that's important to also point out is that I see people of color who have been let down by the Democratic Party now looking at Trump like, hey, you know what? I'm now a MAGA supporter. And it's like, it's giving Stockholm syndrome. It's giving Stockholm syndrome that you think that you need a captor, you need a master, where in fact there's an opportunity for us to actually have systematic change, for us to collectively have collective liberation for all of us. And people are like, oh, let's just vote Trump in because you know what, he's better than Biden right now. And it's like, how much more can we do of this? How much more of the lesser of two evils can we do? Don't we want a better future for ourselves, for our children? Neither parties are actually interested in us, in protecting us, in our progression. They don't care about us. And I think as people of color, it's so important for us to recognize and have it in our consciousness to know when we are being indoctrinated, when they're talking that sweet talk to us, because we are participating in our own oppression at this point.